Alright, we're manifesting less childishness for this one. Am I the drama for asking my brother to not call his boyfriend daddy in front of me? Interesting. On the tin, the baked bean tin. This feels like a very reasonable request to me. Daddy's quite a sexually loaded term, assuming that OP is not in the bedroom where she should not be. I can understand why you wouldn't want to hear your brother say that. So OP is an 18-year-old woman and says my brother, a 21-year-old man, has a boyfriend, also a 21-year-old man, and they have been together for a few months now. His boyfriend comes over a couple of times a week for dinner and just to hang out. My brother and his boyfriend have known each other since they were 5 and our families are close family friends. This is so cute. I know that we're on a drama forum, but like I have to say it's very rare that you hear about such cute harmony between families of gay partners. I wish this was more normalized. It shouldn't be special, but it is and it's making my tummy warm. Let's continue. Opie says, just for the record, I have no problem with them dating each other and being gay. Very glad to hear that. Recently, my brother has started calling his boyfriend daddy whenever talking to him at dinners and hanging out and such. He says it so often, and this makes me uncomfortable. Not because they're gay, but because I think it's weird to say in front of other people. And I'm assuming at this point that boyfriend and brother are not actual dads, because then I would understand, right? Like if they have a little child now and they're going, oh, daddy, that would make sense. If it's just the two of them and they're saying daddy, then that is a bit weird, isn't it? I do think that's a bit weird. I would think it's equally as weird if it was a girl saying it to her boyfriend in front of family, and what a wonderful way to extrapolate the principle and sanity check that you are not being homophobic. And I would find it just as weird if it were a heterosexual relationship. I think oddly, I might even find it weirder, and I'm trying to understand where that's coming from. It's because I'm straight phobic, isn't it? We all knew it. Jokes aside, it's because in LGBT plus communities, specifically sassy cultures, people do take the piss. It's more normalized to see the reclaiming of terms or terms that are meant to evoke certain emotions, like daddy, being used in totally normalized ways. For example, the amount of times I call people queen. Obviously, I don't think that they are a queen. I'm not saying that they're a deity, and often I'm not even saying it to praise. It's just like a greeting. We just see this sort of creative wordplay and very hyperbole, emotive wordplay a lot more within cultures that are more free to express themselves in such creative ways. All of that aside, I still think it's weird in front of family to call someone daddy. In front of friends, I could see this passing. I could see my friends doing this. They haven't, but if they did, I wouldn't feel weirded out about it, but I would if it was my sibling. Opie continues, whatever they call each other alone has nothing to do with me, and I don't care. I can tell that it makes everybody uncomfortable, so last night at dinner, my brother said it again, and I said, hey, oh, you did it publicly? Okay. So I don't care if you call him that when you all are alone or whatever, but I would appreciate it if you wouldn't say it in front of me anymore. You know what? Fair. I get it. I do think you could have said it privately. Do I think it makes you the drama for choosing to say it publicly around the table? No, it's just bold, and I'm a people pleaser. I don't think that act in itself is inflammatory. Let's see how brother responded. My brother immediately got mad and started saying that I'm homophobic and I don't want them to be happy. Oh, that's such a shame, especially because how long have they been together? They've known each other since they were 5. But they have only been together for a few months. Okay, I can see with the newness of the relationship why his head might have gone there. My brother immediately got mad, started saying I was homophobic and didn't want them to be happy. I said that was ridiculous, as I've always been supportive towards his sexuality, and I'm very happy that he's in a happy relationship. He got up and went to his room, and his boyfriend followed shortly after. I was very confused because I didn't expect that reaction, and I asked my family if anything I said was rude or offensive, and they said it wasn't. I would agree with your family, and I also don't think, like hindsight's a wonderful thing. In light of your brother's reaction, we can now see maybe it would have been wise to be like, hey, this has nothing to do with your relationship. I love you both dearly. I support this relationship. I just want to let you know that the phrasing of daddy in front of me and family is making me a little bit uncomfortable. Would you mind keeping that for when I'm not around? Like, I'm sure if you'd said something like that and preempted the whole, like, I love you guys, I support you, this has nothing to do with the fact that you're gay, that would have avoided this reaction. At the same time, how were you to know that your brother would have taken it that way? And we shouldn't be going around in our lives always preempting how people might say things and therefore constantly like second guessing and correcting things before any issues have even taken place. Does that make sense? I actually think that's a really ADHD thing to do, and I'm realizing that I've now just called myself out because of how much I do that. But it's not a healthy thing to do, and so I don't think you were wrong for not shrouding your words in a bunch of disclaimers before you said it. My brother didn't talk to me for the rest of that night, and he hasn't talked to me today, which is weird because we're very close. I've talked to my family more about it, and my mum says that maybe I shouldn't have said anything and to just let it be. So am I the drama, and what can I do to resolve this? No, I do not think you are the drama at all. I disagree with your mum's advice, especially if you're getting the vibe that other people were also uncomfortable. You should not be punished or looked down upon for being the one that was brave enough to voice how they feel. I think it's a really reasonable request. It's quite a leap for the brother to have gone, oh, it must be because you're homophobic. And I think the brother's reaction speaks a lot more to him and his insecurities than it does you. This isn't to say that I think he is an asshole. I also understand, especially if you're feeling insecure about your own identity. You know, he's 21, it is a new relationship. Other things may have made him feel insecure about how your family perceives their relationship. Either that, or it could also just be a pride thing. Nobody likes getting told off, nobody likes getting called out, and especially if it's something like, you know, hey, could you not say daddy? Like, it is a bit embarrassing, right, to hear that, to not realise that what you're doing is causing discomfort and then to be called out publicly on it. And again, I'm not saying that OP is wrong for doing it how she did, I'm just saying I can understand why his reaction may have been volatile and why he might have misdirected that anger and jumped to the wrong conclusions. But no, I do not think that you are the drama for it, and there is such a simple resolution for this. Communication is key. Just talk, babe, just say, hey, I'm so sorry for even planting in your head the potential thought that I might be homophobic. I love you guys, I have no problems with your relationship, and as you explained to us, I would have an issue with a straight sibling doing it in their straight relationship. I just don't want to hear that language. It doesn't feel contextually fitting for family gatherings. And I think if he's reasonable, he will understand this. Away from the heat of the moment of being called out, be able to let that brew, let that marinate, and understand and trust where you're coming from with this. I really hope there's an update on this one. Not the drama, everybody knows what daddy implies. No one uses it casually as a nickname outside of old couples married since 1940s. Their kink is spilling over into their regular life. And it may not even be like a specific kink thing. No, it's a kink thing. Yeah. It's a kink thing. Not the drama. Calling a partner daddy is part of a kink. He's getting something out of calling the partner daddy, and or the partner is getting something out of hearing it, and you don't need to include other people in that part of your life without their explicit consent. That includes roleplay. It's so funny because my initial reaction when I read these comments is like, oh mate, it's not that deep. Why do we need to go into the world of kinks? Why do we need to say it's roleplay? And then I'm thinking, why am I so reluctant to say those words? Why am I scared to make it that deep? And it's because there's so much stigma around it, and the reality is that is what is happening right now. It may be on an incredibly entry level, but calling someone daddy when they're not daddy is a mild form of roleplay. This comment encapsulates the discomfort so well. The reason why people feel uncomfortable to hear it is because it is a sexually loaded term, outside the realm of being a parent, and we shouldn't be involved in those vibes if we don't want to be. This is a matter of explicit consent, and I thank this commenter for helping me grow. For fuck's sake, in any situation, calling your significant other daddy or mummy, unless it's in front of your actual kids, is wildly inappropriate, and I am 50 shades of fruity. It is insane to me that people like this still exist that jump to calling someone homophobic over something as equally insane. Not the drama. Not the drama, this is creepy. Not the drama, it's weird, he's embarrassed. Not the drama. There seems to be a consensus on this forum. OP, I wish you the best of luck with getting over this with your brother. I manifest that this is a low-level drama that's not going to be any kind of permanent, and that will strengthen your relationship by being able to talk about this. I'm sad there wasn't an update, but best of luck, my love.